This is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And welcome to the first top 10 list of 2021.
Woohoo!
Today we are talking about games with auctions.
Yes, and that includes games that are heavily auction-based or have just a pure auction game, or games where we feel like the auction is a big part of the game.
Absolutely.
An important part of the game.
And this is a list I have been looking forward to do because you are vocally not a fan of auctions,
Yes.
while I am.
I am like standing on the barricades, non-auctions here. No.
That's why we're doing a list on auctions.
Yes.
So you're just going to have games with no auctions in them.
No, but I don't have as many pure auction games on my list that I think you might have.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see if we have less crossovers than we usually have.
Yes.
So that is interesting. So should we just jump right into it?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you ready? Who should begin?
You can start this
I
time.
am gonna start. Okay, so I will start. My number 10 is a card game version of a game I have not played.
Yeah.
It is Ray, the card game.
Nice.
This is a game we got in Essen 2017. The first gaming experience at Spiel, which is really nice. And this is a very cool game. It has that mechanism of you have a hand of cards and you decide what numbers your cards are gonna be. So maybe you have like 15 money. And you then decide, you always have to have the 0 card, and you can decide what you use the other money on, what cards you want to have. And then you're going to have 3 consecutive auctions before some scoring, and you also need money for other things. And then you can have another one of those and another one of those. So you bid with a card, I play a card, and if you want to overbid me, you have to play another card on top of that, and I will get my card back. So if I play like a 7, I think is the highest, I will guarantee to get that card. But then I might not get other cards later because I spent a lot of my money on that. And it's a very neat game, and then you also need money for some other offerings, and also need money to buy pyramids to balance out your cards because it's a Ranakensei game. So you only score for your worst card, which is like the Ranakensei way of scoring. I enjoy this game a lot.
Yeah, I like it. I haven't played the real Ray game. Real deal either,
real.
but I remember this and having a good time with it.
I would have been surprised if you had played Ray and I hadn't.
No.
I would be like, where did you do that? Like in an alley somewhere?
Yes.
Going into the alley to play Ray.
That is what I do when you're not home.
Yes.
I'm going into
alleys.
Dark Allies playing Ray the card. No, the real
game.
deal.
Okay, so that's my number 10. What is your number 10?
My number 10 is Pappy Winchester.
Oh, wow.
This is a pure auction game.
So you had a hard time finding 10 games. What you're saying?
No, you might not have heard of Pappy Winchester because it's a little game from Blue Orange.
Yes.
It was released in 2019. And in this game, what I think is cool, because I find auctions a little punishing sometimes, is that if you win the auction, it's a closed economy in the game, so then you have to distribute the money that you used onto other players. The game is a little lucky, so that's a little minus for me, but the fact how the economy is in the game makes me like it.
I think it's a very... I enjoy it. You can see we did a review of it, I think. And
it's on the sell pile now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this actually might be a good introduction to auctions for kids and families. So recommend it if you are looking forward to that or looking for that. So my number 9 then is another game by Ranakensei.
Oh.
Because he is the king of auctions.
Yeah.
So
apparently.
This is a very small game called High Society.
Oh yeah.
And I really enjoy this game. It's a game where you have to bid to get different art pieces, or some cases bid to not get a negative card. And you have everybody has the same deck of cards. But if I maybe spend my 25,000 card, I don't have that anymore. So no, maybe I have to think, oh, did you spend your 25,000? Because in this game, when you're done, the player who spent the most money is out of the game. And then the player with the most points is the winner. So you cannot just spend all your money because then you will not win. So it's a game.
That would not be a game.
It's a game of both. That would be very bad. Like I spent all my money on
Yes.
this. It's a game like of balancing your bids. As to not use too much. It's a short filler game, like half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. Really enjoy it. One I would love to play more, but you don't like it, so we don't get to play it.
No, it's because I find auctions a little hard for my brain as it is, and then I have to think about not bidding too much, and then I end up bidding nothing.
Yes, that's the problem in these kind of games. You're like, 1,000?
Yeah.
Is that too much?
I'm just like, I'm not gonna lose.
So you won't get a last place. That's
Yes,
like your
that is my goal.
That's your goal for
Yeah,
high
I think
society.
I've never won or never even been close to spending the most money. in
It's
this
interesting
game.
because
Yeah.
your brain have a hard time with auctions.
Yes, it's a calculated risk that I can't really calculate. So my number 9 is Raccoon Tycoon. This is a game by Forbidden Games. It's one of our highly loved gateway games because it introduces many mechanisms, including auction, in a really neat way to new players. So I think that is overall it's a solid game, but having this little auction into the economic feeling of the game really adds to it, I feel like, in this game. So that is why it's my number 9.
Yes, I love the game. I would love to play the expansion. It's an expansion.
Is there an
called
expansion?
I love it when you get surprised in these videos. You're so cute. Okay,
I didn't know.
It's called the Fat Cat expansion.
Oh, okay. I've actually heard about that.
Yes, we need that. Glenn, we need that.
We need that.
So, Raccoon Tycoon is a great game, absolutely. My number 8 is a game that's probably going to be higher on your list, or else I will be very surprised. It is Power Grid.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a game you always win. It's a game you're very good at, and it has auctions.
Yes.
So it's kind of strange because you are so good at this game, but there's so much other things. There's so much math and things that
I love this game.
your brain just works very well with. But the auctions here is like, this is one of the first auction games I played. Like, this is one, even though it has dropped a lot for me because you always win, I can't seem to win it. That's not the only reason. I also have played it quite enough.
Oh yeah, we played it a lot.
It's one of those games that just gives me that auction feeling. It's tense auctions. It can go very high on some of these. The wind driven, like the big wind driven ones, and at the end you can go like 100, and you have to calculate, okay, how much money can I spend on the auction, and then you need to, okay, can I spend one more? And that's like, it's so interesting when you come to a decision where like, if I spend one more now, I lose. So you ended up at 42. I can't spend 43. 42 was my maximum.
I love that part of the game because depending on what resources the power plants use, because you're bidding on power plants, depending on what resources they use, you have to calculate it differently because the cost of the resources is differently. I really like that game as well. Obviously. Yeah.
It's going to be on your list.
My number 8. Is it 8?
I'm guessing so. You can check your list.
Is Medici. This is it Reiner Connection?
Absolutely is, yeah.
So he's the king of auctions, apparently. When we have some people over that hasn't played a lot of games, Medici is fast on the table. It's very easy to get into. It's a pure auction game, and this is a game that I always enjoy playing. So it's just simplicity, and it's also a little lucky. So when you draw these cards, you can be like, aha, that was super cool that I got this super cheap.
The last time we played, you like had so many times that we ended up calling it doing a Sunniva.
Yeah.
like when you almost often just draw 3 cards and
I just had like postponed getting anything, so I was the only one
because
that
you
could
don't want to bid.
Yeah. I was the only one that could had space for 3 cards, so I turned around 3 great cards and got them for 1 coin. Whee! So,
and then we didn't see our friends again.
Yes,
that's because of COVID, but that's not because of that.
Yeah, that is because of COVID.
Yes, so we will see them again. So not that way, but that is your number 8.
Yeah.
My number 7. It's gonna be quick. It's Raccoon Tycoon.
Oh yeah.
Very good game, made by a good friend, Glenn Rover. He's a nice guy.
Has auctions.
I missed him last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my number 7.
My number 7 is Age of Steam. This is not a pure auction game, but auctions is very important in the game because being first player is what you're bidding for. Yes. And sometimes, turn order. Sometimes it has like, it's make it or break it for a strategy for me. So I feel like in this game, the auction is very tense, and you can't spend all your money that you need to spend on other things on auctions. You have to be very like, how much is it actually worth for me?
Which is usually how it is in auctions.
Yeah, that is You can see
Are you like
brain.
understanding auctions now? Are you like,
No.
oh, that's how it is, and now you're the master of auctions as well.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, but that is why Age of Steam is on my list.
I love Age of Steam. I do not have it on the list, so spoiler. But I just decided to have other games basically. Like the auction is very important here.
Yeah.
But I just decided to do other games that had more important auctions. But
there's some games that I have excluded from my list because I don't feel that it feels like an auction game to me. Yeah.
But this is a very, like the as you said, it's often that I need, because the first player gets to choose from actions that you do in the beginning of the round, and you will lose if you not get that engine upgrade that you really need at that turn, and then you spend the money and I can't take more money.
Game.
So that is an amazing game. My number 6, going into more like most of my games are more classic auction games, and this one is another very neat one. It's Biblios. This is a very cool game. This is one where you kind of, in the beginning of the game, it's a 2-part game. You first draft cards in a very neat game where you draw cards from a deck, and you're gonna get one for yourself and one for other people, and then you have to choose, oh, I want this, or maybe I draw a better one, and then everybody's gonna end up with a deck of cards, and that is gonna be, or a hand of cards, and that's gonna be what you bid with at the next phase, and you're gonna try to have majority in different colors, and adjust up and down different dice, manipulate. That's the word I was looking for, to get the most points. It's a very short little game, but I really enjoy it. It's another one which is really quick to learn. Where I think we have it.
Yeah,
I hope we have it.
I have an unpopular opinion. I've never really liked Biblios.
Boom!
I don't know, because I see people loving it, and I see why. I see why, but when I play it,
we should play it again and see if you like it more.
Yeah.
Because it's good, but I still like you, even though you don't like Biblios.
It's just like, no matter what I do, some people can just do something else, and then my values are this is
so
it's
you mean all board games?
It's unpredictable. That is what I don't like. But but people, I'm wrong. It's okay. It's okay.
No, you're right.
My number 6, right?
You need to know that yourself. Like, you need to know what games you're just talking about. Yes. 6.
I'm used to starting this list.
6
it's
is
very unusual that you're starting. And my number 6 is Rialto. This is a Stefan Feld game. I haven't played this one in a long time. We're waiting to get our own copy, maybe? Because we don't own this game.
No, we're not getting a copy of Rialto. I think like the next city games, it's going to be one of them is going to be a remake of Rialto.
Okay, so I can't call it Rialto then.
No, because it's going to be another name. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it Doggy if you want to, but it's not going to be the name of the game.
Okay, yes. So my number, So Bob is my one of my favorite auction games. The auction feels a little different here, because you choose your, like, it's a little like Almond Ray, that you choose your starting. What do you call it?
It's a draft, basically, here. So it's very different.
You're starting with... I can't really explain it.
No, you're drafting cards, basically. So you're getting sets of cards, and you get to choose them in play order. And those are the cards you will basically bid for different actions.
So you have like this when your auction started, you already have something set for you, but then you have to manipulate it so that you can overbid on the most crucial actions that you have to do. And then it's very tense, because if I know that you are trying to do the same as me, I have to try to see, where do you want to use your joker cards? Maybe you will outbid me here. So it's very tense. I like that.
Absolutely. It's basically you bid for getting special bonuses for actions.
Yes.
And going first on actions. So it's a very neat game from Stefan Feld. Absolutely. My number 5 is basically another version of High Society, called QE. Yeah, this is a very neat game. I know you don't like it because it's even more...
I like it.
Oh, you do like it? Okay. QE is basically High Society, but you don't have a hand of a card. You can bid whatever you want. And it's kind of strange, because it is a deduction game at the same time, basically, kind of like a deduction game.
It doesn't matter that much, but...
No, but I mean, like, you You are very good at knowing what other people have used in this game.
I write it down.
Yeah, but you also...
I'm good at writing things down.
No, but you
Thank
understand more and you see more and you are better at detecting and better at deducting what other people have used,
I still
feel.
lose.
Yeah, but you are good at that part because the thing is that you can bid whatever you want. So I can bid 2 billion or I can bid 1.
Yeah.
And it's the same as high society. The player with who have spent the most money at the end is out of the game. So even though you don't win, you have ended up the games and you had sit down. Okay, I'm gonna say what all you have spent, and you have most of it have been kind of correct.
Yeah, because you don't have perfect information. The one holding the auction is seeing the other players what do you call it, bids, and then you just like. I say Johannes wins this round, but the other players don't know what you have bidded.
I don't know what
Bidded.
Bid in past tense. What is that?
Yeah, bid maybe. Bid.
What you bid?
And so they only know that. Oh, okay.
I think it's bid.
Yeah.
Still.
I bid 3,000. Then I know that Johannes's bid is at least 3,000 more. So that is the way you have to think. So you don't have perfect information. So really cool game.
It's an interesting one. I like it a lot. So that's my number 5.
Yeah. My number 5 is Lancaster.
Okay,
that's right.
Lancaster. Yeah, it's a good game. I'm sad we don't own it.
Yeah.
If you have a copy of Lancaster just gathering dust, let me know.
Oh yeah, we want it. Lancaster is not a pure auction game either. It feels a little different. It kind of is more of an area majority, but you're basically bidding for actions. So you have workers with different values.
And different heights.
Yeah, so I can say, I want to do that action. And then you go there with a bigger dude. And say, no, you're not going to do that. And then I'm just like, oh, I'm going to move this to another action and try to do that. So I think that is a different take on an auction that I can enjoy.
It's actually you're bidding on actions basically, more than like bidding on an art piece or something like that.
And
it's a very good
multiple
game.
biddings going on at the same time because it's a worker placement bidding game-ish.
Absolutely, it's very, very neat.
Very good.
I love it, and I would love to have it in the collection. Now, my number 4 is a Keyflower.
Yeah.
This is one of those, again, we have talked about it pretty recently, I think. I do not remember why, but I have talked about it pretty recently in some lists or something like that. It is one of those, one of the first games we got. Been with us all the time. I really like it, even though last time I played I did horribly and had no way of getting anything done. Don't know if it was me or the game, probably me. And you bid with meeples of different colors. Oh yeah, I remember now. It was me. I did some very bad moves, which basically got me out of the game in the first round. So you bid on tiles with meeples, and then the colors. Like if I bid with a yellow, you have to continue bidding with yellow. So if I kind of know what other people have, I can also it's basically an economy with meeples where you bid people. I don't know, but then you also have different colored ones. So it's basically like. I don't know. I'm saying the same thing again now. Yeah. You're bidding with meeples to get them, and also you want to then build your own little community where you go around and do actions. But here, like the auction is the part, and it's a big part of the game. It is where you get your new tiles, and you can basically your whole strategy is built out of what kind of tiles you win.
Yeah, the auction in this game is really interesting. I think like the different colored meeples trying to deduce. Okay, what color do you have the least of? Where can I? Get a meeple as fast to decide the color that we're bidding for on this tile. Really interesting game.
Absolutely, that's Keyflower.
So my number 4 is Rurik Dawn of Kiev. This is also an interesting, different take on the auction mechanic.
Yeah.
Here you're also bidding on actions in a little queue system.
Yes.
I feel like. So have different valued meeples and the number states how if you get to do the best version of that action, but it also states the what do you call it?
The order you do the
order
actions.
that you do
so
the
you have to
actions
do the
in.
1 first, then the 2.
Yes. So I think that is really interesting, and it's a great game.
It is very good.
It's one of my favorite games. Yeah.
Basically, to explain super quick, you have a board, and then you if I place a 1, I will place it on top. on the best spot of that action row. But if you then come with a 2 or a 1 with a coin, for example, and you will push my down.
Yeah.
So if I go with a 1, I will probably not do the best action. But it's very.
And you can get pushed down to the far bottom.
Yes.
And get to do nothing at all.
Or do a very bad version of the action, but you will be doing it first. So it's very interesting because you have that kind of going this way, like you're doing bad to better actions, but you also want to have the best actions, but you need to, and it's hard because you not always want to can do the worst one because you're like, oh, I need to be able to do the best version, but I have to do it first, so maybe I need to do it at a 3.
And sometimes you have like a really specific
order
to make your strategy work.
Absolutely. It's a very, very neat game, and that is your number 4.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so top 3 time. My number 3 is another classic game. This is one that I remember buying at GotCon in Sweden and being like, oh, it's here. I've heard so much good about it, and it is so good. Can you guess the game?
I think it's Princess of Florence.
It is Princess of Florence. Aha. This is a great tiling game, set collection game basically, but at the start of every round you have auctions. Every player get to choose one thing they want to auction off, and this is another one where like at Ato's team where it's just an auction at the beginning of the round, but it can be very important to get that park or to get that specific card or that joker, the juggler, all of those things, which is really, really important. And this is just like a classic pure Euro. And another one I really, really love, especially good at 4, especially good at 5 players. It also has some other neat mechanisms like where when you get points, you have to decide if they are money or actual victory points, which is another very, very neat thing because you need money to do those auctions, but you also need victory points, and you can only decide at the exact moment where you get the money or you get the points, and that is very, very neat. I love this game.
There is just so much to like about this game.
Absolutely.
There is so many solid mechanisms, and the auction is definitely one of them. My number 3 is Keyflower.
Cool. That was a very quick one. Okay, so that's me again. My number 2 is also going to be quick. It is Rurik Dawn of Kiev. Cool. For all the reasons we have already spoken about.
Yes. So my number 2 is... Oh, I have to check. Power Grid. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that goes a little fast as well. I really love Power Grid.
Is that your number 1? Wow.
Yeah. So... I also want to give a little shout out to Power Grid, the card game, which is really nice. It takes like the core mechanisms is the bidding and the resource management, and not much the map and expansion. So that is also a great auction game as well.
It is. So then it is my number 1, which is also going to be a very quick crossover. It is the king of auctions. It is Medici. This is just like I think auctions. If I think auctions, I think Medici. This is both a game I can play with new players, with my parents, with players we play often with. Like it can play with anyone because it's so quick. Rules are easy. Gameplay is fun. Great game. Medici, my number 1.
Yes, my number 1 is Princess of Florence. You've guessed that already.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A list without that game would be weird for us because we
this list, you mean? Like it would be like top 10 not Euro games. It would be strange to have that.
Princess of Florence.
Top 10 games that doesn't have princess in them. It would also be like a very strange one to have Princess of Florence in.
Yeah, so lots of great auction games are out
actually,
there.
And that's usually like the top is just going to be like crossovers, but we had quite a few different ones as well. So I hope you saw some new auction games or games in auctions that you might check out. And if you don't like auctions, then listen to Sunniva and see if there's some of those games that might trigger your interest. For example, like Lancaster is an amazing game that doesn't feel like an auction game, but still has that kind of auction thing in it.
And I also have to just mention that I really want to play Strasbourgian again. It's one of Stefan Feld's game. We really like Stefan Feld, so I think it's worth mentioning that it's not on the list just because I haven't played enough to really remember how much I like it.
Yeah, it's a fine game. It's not like an amazing game, but it's good.
Yes.
And those are our top 10 games with auctions.
Yes.
That's the end of another video. We hope you enjoyed it. What is your top 10? What is your top auction game? Let us know in the comments.
What is your top game with Princess of Florence in it? Yeah.
Or just Princess. What's your top game with Princess in Florence?
Yes.
And that is the end of another video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Sunniva.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.